What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Pro Source Pod. In this episode, we're going to be talking about tracking your average velocity as a pitcher. Now, with the way that baseball training is trending and pitchers only being worried about top end velo, you see a lot of guys who can hit that top end early in a bullpen or early in a game and then severely taper off. So, we're going to talk about why that's not a good thing and why that doesn't translate into a game and why you should track your averages. Nick, what do you got?
What do you want me to have?
What do you got?
What do you want me to have?
This is something that you like to talk about a lot.
Well, I mean, it just makes sense that if you're going to throw hard, you shouldn't be able to do it for like 30 pitches. You should be able to do it for, 45, 50. If you're actually going to be reliable, whether it's like as a reliever or as an actual like starter. If you're a starter and you can't throw around like the same velo for 50 pitches, you're definitely in for a rude awakening.
Yeah, you can't pitch.
Considering you're probably going to go, if you're in high school, like, and you're like the guy, you're going to be used for 80 to 90 pitches. Probably. I mean, worst case, you only go 70 pitches and they're saving you for back end game of the week or something like that. Like, you definitely need to be able to go 70 pitches deep. And if you're like falling off severely before that, you're probably not really going to play at the next level. That's like one of the big things. Like, you're not going to be able to play.
Yeah.
Because like if you can only go 30 pitches and then you lose 3 miles an hour or 4 miles an hour, you're gonna get hit.
For sure.
Like if you fall off that badly, like good luck.
And I think a lot of guys that struggle with what we're talking about, like they'll get recruited to go to a school and like a coach will see a video because like guys can get committed to a school just from video.
Yeah.
Like coach doesn't even have to see you pitch, but it's like these kids will get signed just off of a video of them throwing, 91 in a bullpen, and then they'll step to campus and they'll be like 84 to 86. They'll be like 84 to 86, or maybe they'll top 91 in the first inning or whatever, but when they actually have to go deep into a game, it falls off severely. And it's like...
It doesn't do anything to not track it.
And then coaches of that school will be like, dude, this isn't the guy I recruited.
Well, I mean, if I pull up like Baseball Savant or something, like I can give you like Mason Miller's average fastball. Like, it's no longer like, oh, I throw this to this. It's not the range. It's just they have the numbers like calculated already. So it's like, I'm going to go to Baseball Savant. So like, it's no longer this guy throws X. Like, yeah, he can throw 104. He can throw 103, but like, what's his average? That's what people look at, like in pros.
Yeah,
so
100%.
Like, so I'll look at Ben Joyce, for example. He just threw like 104 the other day, like the fastest pitch of the year. Let's see what this homie's up to.
He throws hard.
He definitely
throws hard.
Well, this is being a pain in the butt. I don't know why it's hard to find it right now. Oh, okay. 163 fastballs. He throws a lot of fastballs.
I mean, if you sit 102, you should be throwing a lot of fastballs.
Yeah, that's a good point. Give me a second while I find it. Okay. He sits, his four-seam fastball is 101.8.
That's his average.
Yeah.
That's fast. Is that that has to be the fastest average in the league?
I mean, I can definitely find out what the fastest average is in the league. Give me a second. 23. Now it's going to be like the weird stuff. I don't know how you go into the weird stuff.
Well, like, so many people train for that top end velo, and it's like, it's cool to hit new PRs and stuff. Like, I did it when I played. It was like, it's awesome. It's awesome to throw a new PR, but I don't think you should be tracking your progress based off your velo ceiling. You should try to bring your floor up as much as possible. So, for example, if you start off throwing 82, 84, top end 86, don't try to go for that 88 in a bullpen because it's like you're still going to be throwing at that lower average. Like, you're still going to be sitting 82, 84. And it's like, if you take the ego out of it and you have a bullpen where you're 83 to 86 consistently, like, that's a step in the right direction. And it's like a lot of people would be mad at that if they were throwing 82, 84 before. But it's like you're raising your average up. And if you can raise your average up 2 miles per hour and like you don't see a jump in your top end velo, that's still a really good sign. Because like what's going to happen is you're going to raise that average, and then by default your top end velo is going to go up. It's just how it works. That's just what happens.
Yeah, that's a pretty good point right
also
there.
Just messed up.
What'd you mess up?
No, they're fine. They're falling off my head.
Well, yeah. I mean, do you think like do you think you should track everything from bullpen? Like, is it just bullpens to games, or is it like flat grounds and all that stuff?
I mean, yeah, I think the more you track, the better. In all honesty, like, yeah, track your flat ground velos too. Like, even though you're not trying to max out on a flat ground, it's like if you can increase your velo on a flat ground week to week, and like you're not even really trying to go after it, that's a good sign. Like you're doing something right. So it's like just having all of that in a spreadsheet or a tracker of some sort, and seeing how you increase from week to week, month to month. That's just gonna help you out more than going for that top end velo.
So
right?
you're gonna love this. So they have the average, like they have the leaderboards for just fastball speed, like four seam spin. It's wild. Vertical movement and then horizontal movement. Funny because a lot of the guys that have the fastest fastballs are not on the highest spin spectrum.
Like the highest spin rate?
Yeah.
Really? That's interesting. What's the highest spin? I'm curious.
2,671.
On a fastball?
Yeah.
Who is it?
Austin Adams.
That's fastball?
Yep. Four seam.
That is ridiculous.
But like, here's a stupid one, right? Average sinker velocity. Like, that's where Aroldis Chapman is. He's 99.4. But that's not four seam. No one throws a 100 mile an hour sinker. I don't care what numbers show up. It's not moving that much.
Pretty sure Alvarado does.
If you watch the pitch come out of his hand, like on the television, like a sinker, like, you know who threw a sinker that was 94? Roy Halladay. You know how much that thing moved? You actually like visibly saw like movement like that. Or
So
like
what is Alvarado
Arrieta threw a two, like his wasn't classified as a sinker, but it was a two. That thing visibly, like, oh my God, that thing was moving a lot.
So what does Alvarado throw?
They call it a sinker, but like it's just because of what data comes up. But
so
it's
what do you think it is?
It just looks like a fastball on TV. It's moving, like it's not really. It's a whole thing. That's beside the point. So if we're just looking at four seamer, right? So like here's what I'm saying. Ben Joyce, his sinker comes in at 97.4. That means Ben Joyce just didn't like get on top of that ball. He didn't try throwing a sinker. He just was around the ball.
Yeah, that happens.
That's what I'm saying.
That does happen sometimes.
So it's like it's not they're actually throwing a sinker.
Like you'll see a guy
they classified that, but he was here, and that's why whatever.
You'll see pitches on TV, like for example, like if you see like who's a good example, like if Blake Snell's throwing, and he throws a fastball that he just cuts a little bit, and it's like 93. They'll call it a cutter. He doesn't throw a cutter.
He doesn't throw a cutter.
So I see what you're saying with that, but I do think like Alvarado.
Paul Skeens, by the way, average is 102. You said.
What's his average?
99. 102, my ass.
That's
no. Well, technically, I mean, if you want to round up, Ben Joyce is 101.8. Number 2 is Mason Miller at 100.9.
That makes sense.
Which is bananas.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous, man.
But like Ben Joyce, like his top is this year. I'll tell you what it is. Give me 1 second. I'm pretty sure it's like 104 or something.
104 something. Physical specimens, those two are gigantic.
You know, it's so funny. Like, it actually makes it difficult to find the top.
What are you on, Baseball Savant?
Yeah, this website's really difficult to navigate. It was like 2 days ago. It was like 104.7.
No, I saw it. It was, yeah, 104 something.
But it's like Ben Joyce, on average, he's throwing 101. He throws 100. All right, I'm going to round up from him. He throws 102. Mason Miller, he throws 101. But like those are the numbers these guys are going off of, not like
Not their top.
Ben Joyce threw 105, but he usually throws around 97. Like, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like, so I remember college recruiters used to say something like, we were watching Solomon, I think he got up to like 92, and he was only a junior. I think he was a junior, and he was like, doesn't count unless he does it twice. Did it twice. He's like, all right, it counts. Like, you have to do it twice.
You have to follow it
Yeah.
up. You have to follow it
If
up.
you just
Absolutely.
if you throw one that's like
'Cause
2
it could
to
be a
3
misread.
I would, yeah, but it's also, it's like, okay, well, he doesn't really do that. He did it one time. Like, it's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I get why it's like you can't just throw it one time.
And that's the point I was trying to make earlier. It's like, dude, no one cares about your top end velo if you can't repeat it. Like,
No.
there's so many kids who throw 90 for one pitch. And then what are they good for? And I was one of these guys. But it's like, you throw 90 once. Okay, you don't throw 90 miles per hour. You throw 87. It's like, if you can sit 90, that's respectable because then that's your average. You sit 90 and you top 93 and you work to have that average be 93.
Whenever people try to throw their top, and it just means that they like didn't have stamina.
You can't throw your top every pitch.
No.
You can't.
No.
You can't. Mason Miller can't throw 103 every pitch, but he can throw 102, which is wild.
Yeah.
Or no, Ben Joyce can throw 102 every pitch. Mason Miller's only 101. Scrub.
You know, it's like it's just like one of those things where it's like, have something in place to track it. Like every pitch, like whether you're recording your session, if you're just alone, like record the thing, go back and watch what you actually did and see, like, and write down the numbers. Like, it doesn't hurt to do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. So it's like, if you're working on something, you can kind of track and be like, okay, this is working, this isn't working.
Yeah.
Like, you're trying to do something different mechanically and like feel something different. Like, okay, well, I was doing this instead of going from here, less effort and more velo.
Yeah.
Or like less effort, same velo. Like, because it could be, it's like everything that you're doing, you're trying to create velo effortlessly. So it's like when you go to do a flat ground, you're supposed to mess around and see like what's your cues physically, or like what you're trying to do to create the most without doing a lot. So it's like, if you can go and throw 88 in a bullpen, not a bullpen, like 88 in your flat ground. This doesn't make sense, but this is personal experience. You can sit 87 to 85 in your flat ground. You should be able to pretty easily like ramp up and throw hard on the mound. For some reason, it's not happening, but like, it's also like you go through like a period for a couple of weeks when you get back to throwing, like you gotta figure it out. Like, if you go months without throwing, your first 2 months are you reinventing what you're doing, like, or rediscovering it, because you lose everything. Like, it's still there, but it's like, oh, I gotta like get the training wheels back on and figure out what my body's doing.
Well, yeah, it takes your body a while to get used to going back to performing a movement that is extremely high intensity. So it's like you kind of have to almost relearn the throw. And it's like your authentic throw is always going to be there. But it's like if you were a guy who throws 90, you take half a year off, you go back to your first bullpen, you're probably going to be throwing like 82.
But it's like you go back to like what we're doing with our trackers and like our bullpen. It's like you track every velocity. And it's like, even if one is really bad, guess what? That goes in your average. Like,
Yeah.
if Aaron Nola throws a ball 84, it's going to get recorded.
Yeah.
Like, that's like on that. That's not going to happen. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like it happened. It's part of his average. Like, you just move on.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, well, you didn't throw one at your top speed. Guess what? You're not going to throw one at your top speed. You have like a specific range that you fall in, and you can make it exact because that's what people do now. And it's like, you can also see, like, if you're trying something new or you're going through a program like us, right? Like, if you're going through one of our programs, you're going to be able to see all the data, be like, okay, I'm making progress. Right now I'm plateauing. And it's like, but then you go off of your feels, like, what's your effort level and you doing it? It's like, okay, my effort level is going down and I'm staying around the same area, or I'm like a little bit better. Like what happens when you start to go at it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And like add a little more oomph. Like, okay.
100%.
And it's just like it keeps yourself accountable. It's like, okay, my averages are progressively getting lower. What am I doing? Like, am I in pain? Or am I just like, am I getting fat? Am I not working out enough? Then you start to look at like, okay, what am I doing in like my actual throwing or what I'm doing leading up to throwing?
100%, dude. You nailed it. And it's like when you have all these numbers in front of you and like you have your averages from week to week, it's like, all right, well, did I take my training less serious this week? Yes. You can see that displayed in your average fastball velocity. And it's like, and it could be a multitude of things. Like Nick was saying, it could be an average, like, or not an average thing. It could be a mechanics thing. It could be like, did you sleep like shit that night? Because like all that plays a part into it. And it's like just having a tracker, I think is so useful. And it's something I genuinely do wish I'd paid more attention to when I played.
If you start tracking 1 week, right, and then you go 5 to 6 weeks of tracking everything, and every week you're going lower and lower, there's something
you're doing
going
something
on.
wrong. Yeah, something's not working. Something needs to change.
And like if you know you're not hurt, then like it's something either diet related. I'm just gonna throw things out there that it could be. It could be diet related. It could be sleep related. It could be training related. It could be weight room related. It could be anything. Like it could be mechanic related. So it's like now it's like, okay, whatever I'm doing is not working. I have enough information. Like a plateau is different if you're within like a couple miles an hour. That's not going to be a big of a difference.
100%.
But if it's like you're progressively going down each week and it's like now like 3 to 4 and it's like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Like if you're within 2 miles an hour, it's really not a big deal.
No, it's not.
And it's like, and you got to stick with it. But it's like at the same time, like you don't want to see yourself go down 5 miles an hour and be like, "Ooh, this is really working." Like, no, something's off.
Yeah, something's definitely off. And it's like just having the numbers in front of you helps so much. I can't stress that enough.
You can pick up on trends too. Like for Eric, like one thing we've noticed, Eric will go to throw. And if I pull this up, like it will for the people who actually watch the video, like we'll show like some of these on the screen. Eric now 4 weeks and like for 4 weeks, the first 2 weeks, his highest velo came on his 5th throw. And then weeks 3 and 4, his highest velo for 3 and 4 was on his 7th throw. So within Eric's like first 10 throws, like he works up to his peak and then he just tapers off, which once again, that's why we're tracking it. It's like, what do we got to do differently to figure out how to sustain it longer?
Yeah.
Or to get even higher than what it is. Because once again, that's what we're trying to do. For me, it's a little bit different where I kind of just will throw the same thing throughout. I don't know why exactly, and it's kind of throwing me off too. And Eric will be thrown off because it's like I'll be throwing, and then like there'll be one that's like on pitch like 37. It's like, why was that my hardest one? Or like, okay, like you just ramped it back up 3 miles an hour. It's like I don't really know what's going on. But, but it's not like it's fluctuating between like 7 miles an hour. It's usually within like a couple mile an hour range.
Yeah, no, for you it's just been like,
but it never really just falls off a cliff.
Maybe like the last couple pitches yesterday, because you.
Yeah. Okay. To keep this in, all right. This didn't make any sense. I don't know what was going through my head. It was a 45 pitch pen, and like I don't know how to explain it other than I wasn't trying to do anything. Like it was very low effort. And I'd be like around like 87. I'm like, well, like, if I just tried a little bit, like maybe we can get up, but like never really went after it. And then like I keep going. I'm on pitch 30. I go, I'm going to go another 5. And like going 30 that round was already a lot. And it was like,
you went 35.
I went 35 and nothing tapered off.
Yeah.
And then when I went to go do my last like 10 after Eric got done his round, the first couple I was fine. And then it was just like, nothing but 83s. Like it was like, it wasn't like I felt tired or anything. It was just like, my body's like, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's done. Like that's why no one throws 35 to 40 pitches an inning and goes back out. Like they're done.
You're probably done.
You're done.
If you're throwing 35 pitches in an inning, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
There's something wrong.
My average went down 3 miles an hour that inning.
Yeah.
Indication you're done.
But it's like got to adjust next week.
But there's high school guys, right, where it's like they'll dip 3 miles an hour, but they're staying out there because no one really has a radar gun at these games, so no one really knows like how hard they're still throwing. But it's like people go 50 pitches and they're done. Like they're dipping 2 to 3 miles an hour an inning. Like next thing you know, you go from being that guy who was like maybe around like top 92, say, you sat 90 to 88, and then the next inning you went down like a mile an hour or two on your average. By the third, fourth inning, most of those guys are like, that's where you see those ranges on like a PBR or
It's
whatever, and it's like
wild.
it's
the
like
ranges,
top
dude.
93, and it was like set 91 to 85. It's like that's a big difference. Like
So
it's like how many innings did he go? It's like, is he throwing 85 or is it like sometimes I have you seen where it's like 92 to 84?
So one of the cats that comes into All Pro that we talk about frequently, uh, you know exactly who this is. Post grad guy. He sent me a screenshot of his velos from Perfect Game this past weekend,
Good or bad?
and his top velo is 92. Guess what his average was?
85.
86. So like that's what we're talking about. All these kids are trained to throw hard
For like 1 to 2
for
pitches.
1 to 2 pitches or 1 to 2 innings if you're in a game. Because like, be honest, in a game you're throwing harder. There's adrenaline. There's like you're in. It's really easy to get up for a game situation, but it's like these kids are trained to throw hard for 1 to 2 innings, and then like after that they're toast. They're toast. So it's like you'll click on like a Perfect Game velocity report from a tournament, and like you see it all the time. Top 93, average velocity, 87. It's like you're just a showcase pitcher at that point.
Yeah.
You're a showcase pitcher, or you can go to college and you can be a legit 1 to 2 inning guy. But it's like if you want to be a starter at a high level, you can't be dipping off that much. Like nobody in the major leagues has a range like that.
It's not gonna go well.
It's not going to go well. Not at all. Got to track the averages. Got to track the averages.
It's not that hard to do though.
Well, kids they just don't know.
Yeah.
They just don't know.
Good point. You got anything else?
I think that wraps it up.
If you enjoyed this, like, share, subscribe. If you're looking for programs or whatever, just reach out to us. We have a couple. We have a couple out there, especially in terms of tracking and progress. Like, just reach out.
Yeah. You can go click the link in the description below. You can buy all our training materials there. And if you guys have any questions specifically, you can shoot us a DM on Instagram or reach out to us via email. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.